Fair warning, folks. This is an adult podcast made for adult ears. We dive into historical events that might make some of you all blush or feel a bit uncomfortable. So, if you're not an adult, or if you're an adult who prefers to steer clear of topics that get a little naughty, now might be the time to click away. For the rest of you, darling souls, hello and welcome. Are you ready to pay for it? Me too. But before we dive in, if you love your history with a spicy twist, please consider subscribing on your favorite platforms. It really does help us keep going. All right, enough foreplay. Let's head straight into the red light district. I'm ready if you are.
I got something between my legs that'll make a dead man come on. Yeah. I got something between my legs that'll make a dead man come on. Yeah. I'm gonna turn back my mattress and let you all my springs. I want you to find me, daddy, till the bell do ring. Oh, daddy, want you to shave and dry.
Hello, my name is Summer, and this is Paying For It. Thank you for being here for episode 41. Woo! It's been a journey. Anyways, hello, how the hell are you? I am doing really well. My mom did visit, and that went as well as a mom visit goes. You know, sometimes it's difficult visiting with your parents for long periods of time, especially me, because man, does my social battery just drain. And when you never get that separation to recharge, you have to be kind of on all the time. I get a little grumpy bitch. I do. I do. And I do recognize that, and I do acknowledge that. Anyways, it happens. It's life. What can you do about it? Try your best. That's all. Anyways, yes, so we are in the middle of September, or at the beginning of September, and it's fall vibes, baby. Like, literally September 1st here in Texas, we were raining, little chilly, kind of, yeah, very fall, very, twilight, no, I can't do it. I just tried it, and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that just happened. As the baby Twilight girl in me. What? As the young girl, the younger version of me would be so disappointed in her because, man, was she a Twilight stan. Now it's becoming like weird that Twilight has become like a weird cult classic that everyone loves to make fun of. But you know what? We still watch it. We still love it. I see you. I know. We're still talking about it for a reason. Yeah, so I've just been feeling the fall vibes. Enjoying all of that. I right now it's not fall at the moment here in Texas. We got that first week and like Texas was like, here, you want your fall? Have it. Actually, it was actually happening because there was a hurricane coming into Houston. So that's why we got some stormy rains just lined up perfectly. But I did feel very fall for a little bit. So I broke out my fall stuff. And now all the Halloween stuff is coming out. And you know, I'm a spooky gal. So I'm excited. I'm excited for all the Halloween stuff. I got some cool freaking cups. One from HEB, which we're an HEB family now. As soon as one opened up in our general facility, That's not the right word, but I can't think of the other one, so we're going to keep moving on. But as soon as one opened up near us that was like not a 45-minute drive, we were like, okay. So we went and checked it out, and I'm in love. I'm obsessed. And yeah, so we live our life shopping at H-E-B. I went into H-E-B the other day, and they just started putting out their Halloween stuff, and I was like, okay, hello, here I am. Hi. Okay, so I got some really cool cup. I got a cool cup there, and then some cool little, okay, I got these soap, like hand soaps that are like just kind of silly little Halloween faces. The scent doesn't really smell Halloween. It smells nice, but my mind thought was that I would use the soap in them for the season and then wash them out and use them next year for coffee syrup pumps. Is that weird? Would that work? I feel like it's already clean because it's like soap, but I would definitely wash it out more. So I feel like it would work, and I think it would be cute. I don't know. Maybe that's weird. I don't care. I don't think I care. I'm going to do it probably anyways, okay? That's how I'm feeling. Yeah, so I've also just been... I want to murder this... What is this called? Arm. The mic arm. I spent all morning trying to just figure out how to use the tension. I mean, not how to use it. I know how to use it. I just don't think it works. I don't think it works. I tore the little knob up trying to get this to just stay in one spot. And it doesn't. So I have to hold it because I was trying to figure out a way not to hold the mic. And I keep it off. I try to keep me holding it off camera so that you guys aren't like, what the hell? But like if I let go, look. I know for those who are not watching, can't see this. But yeah, it just raises up right in front of my face. And then if I let it go forever, it'll just fully raise up. So I don't know. I'm trying. But I noticed I think it was last recording or last episode 40, the Countess, my audio was a little weird. So I don't want that to happen. And I also would like not to hold it the whole time, but I guess, beggars can't be choosers. I don't know what I'm begging about, but I mean, it would be nice for it to work the way it's supposed to work, I guess I should say. I don't know if that's really begging. Yeah. Anyways, I am just rambling. I will let you know, for those who are interested, I am on the very last book of Throne of Glass. I haven't started it yet, but I am right there. It is the next thing on the agenda after I get done recording is to dive in to Kingdom of Ash. And I'm like excited, nervous, scared, sad. Actually really sad because I'm like, I don't want to say goodbye to these characters. I've fallen in love with some of them and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I have been reading the series for almost like 6 months now, and it's hitting me in my feels. It's hitting my feels. Okay, so what can I do about it? Finish it. That's what I can do. And oh shoot, I shouldn't have moved. I unplugged my headphones. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's hitting my feels, and I'm feeling some kind of way. But I am very excited to get into it, finish the series for the first time, because I have already decided that I cannot wait to go back and read this again. I think I'm going to listen to it on audio. The person who introduced me or suggested this series to me, well, nailed it. First of all, good job. Chef's kiss on that. But she also says that there's not a dramatic retelling of this yet, but I think there might be rumors of one. So when that comes out, I'll probably do that too. But I feel that when she and I were talking, she was talking about how she listens to audios of books that she's already read because, well, she has ADD, so like so she can focus on it because she already knows the story. So if you kind of accidentally zone out for a second and come back, you already know what's going on, so you're not constantly rewinding 7 million times. I don't have that problem as much. My problem is I tend to, I gravitate towards the physical copy of a book, but I also think I don't do a lot of rereadings, but this is one that I've already known that I want to reread, so I think it would be fun to listen and read at the same time next time. And then when hopefully the dramatic one comes out. I don't know why I said pops out. But once that one comes on, I can listen to it while driving to work and stuff. So there's my tangent for that. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about a little bit of an announcement. Nothing big, nothing major. This is going to be the end of season 2 of Paying For It. Was this my intention? For this whole season to be on one topic, which was Storyville? No. But hey, that's how life goes. That's what happens. So that's what it is going to be. I feel like we gave Storyville a lot of attention, well-deserved, build up, and I feel like I brought you through the times, the people, the main players. And today, of course, we are going to talk about the closure, the conclusion. And I feel like it's just natural for this to be the end of season 2. But don't you worry, because season 3 is going to come back hot and bad. Hot and bad. Because I have some little things I'm adjusting and going to do. Next time we come back and you see me, I'm going to have a fully decorated, not maybe fully, but pretty decorated background. This little poster that is back here, it's not going to stay. This is just temporary because we needed a background for something that we were doing yesterday. So we just plopped up a display that we already had. But I'm thinking about putting, I think display is pretty cool. The magnet system of it that you can switch out things, keep it fresh and fun. So I'm already going to making fun of myself. I'm already looking into another one to put there, but I also ordered some things that I'm very excited to put up. It's just going to look cool when you come back, okay? When we come back for season 3, it's just going to look cool. I'm excited. I hope you are too. I've forgotten to do something. How dare I? Okay, now we're actually in the red light district during the day, okay? Okay, also some things that I plan on. Oh, jeez, now I can't get in this chair. Really just killing it today. Anyways, when we come back for season 3, I have some plans, I have some thoughts and some ideas and some things I want to do to just elevate Paying For It. I am in it, okay? It's my baby. I'm not giving up on it. I hope you guys don't want me to give up on it. But I want to make it better, and so I'm getting... Jesus Christ, I cannot stay in one spot. I'm getting really into trying to just elevate the show a little bit, okay? Maybe one day I'll get a mic that doesn't fly over my head every 2 seconds. We'll see. But so I'm going to take some time off, not too long. Don't you worry, don't fret, to come back bigger and badder in season 3. This is just the beginning, okay? We have come a long way. Season 1, we were, just dived right in and talked about some cool people, had big dreams, just tried everything and anything that I thought I was supposed to be doing. But I also have to remember I'm starting from literally zero and trying to work my way up. So we have to do that slow. It doesn't come overnight. So season 2, I did season 2 for myself. I really wanted to dive deep into Storyville, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I also took time to learn what I can do with the time I'm given. And I have to prioritize some things. I've learned that. We're going to just keep that going. Anyways, I'm also just rambling. So let me say that when we come back, my goal is to start shooting at night. We're talking about the vices of history. We're talking about the madams and the spicier side to life back in the day. And I just feel like that happens at night, baby. So I've been recording during the day a lot, pretty much since I started this. And I am going to prioritize recording at night. This is the only thing is I get so nervous for no reason. When I record during the day, I'm by myself with the cats, and they're not judging me. At night, I do plan on doing it when everyone's sleeping, but for some reason, I just also still feel like, are they going to hear me? Are they going to judge me? So yeah, that's why, but I'm going to get over that. I'm going to get over it, okay? And that is not the only few things I have up my sleeve, but I'll save some for season 3. I'm excited. I hope you guys get excited, and I will not be gone for long. I promise you. I have gotten some social media back up and going. So I do plan on, of course, I've always been posting on YouTube and TikTok, but I'm going to get back onto X, and I've started an Instagram because some of the pictures would be nice to put out there. Some of the ladies we talk about have literally no digital footprints, and some of the ladies, were lucky enough to have some of their surviving digital footprints, and that would be fun to share to audience listeners who don't watch the YouTube videos. So yeah, let's just move on, shall we? I mean, my goodness, I have rambled for so long about nothing. Anyways, but that is the big announcement, or that is the announcement, is that we are ending season 2 with the wrap-up conclusion of Storyville, and we will be moving into season 3, and I will see you then when we are there. Yeah. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, gather around because we've reached the final chapter of our 7-part deep dive into the scandalous, the salacious, and the unapologetically defiant history of a place where rules were made to be broken. Storyville, New Orleans. Infamous red light district. Uproarious laughter, forbidden jazz melodies filling the air, and a cast of characters so daring they didn't just bend the rules, they shattered them and wrote their own. But don't get too comfortable because things are about to get serious fast. The clock is ticking on Storyville, and its time is running out. It's a high-stakes battle between power, politics, in a place that's been both a haven and a headache for over 2 wild decades. So, you know what time it is. Grab yourself your favorite drink, a cocktail, a mocktail, whatever you fancy, and settle in. We are about to unravel the rise and fall of a district that dared to live on its own terms. Welcome to Storyville, where the nights were long, the music was loud, and the fights for freedom was relentless. Today I have what I thought I didn't have any more of these. I thought I was all done with these. But turns out I've changed my mind. I'm so sorry. All right. Today I have 903 Brewers. I've never actually heard of this brewing company. I don't think I've had anything from this company. But this is a sample that came through work that I was able to take home. Let's see. It is, what is this even that I'm looking at? Oh, a churl and caramel ice cream flavored cream ale. I'm gonna hate this. I am not gonna lie. I am going to hate it. I believe it's going to be very, very sweet. But it's cinnamon, milk, sugar, and caramel flavored cream ale. What? But, we got to try it. Okay, so let's pour this into a glass. Oh, it smells sweet. It smells so sweet. And cheers, 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 cheers. Take a sip, and let's jump right in to the beginning of the end. Oh, interesting. Okay. We're going to take a few sips of those and see. I'll give you my thoughts in a bit. Socially, many attempts had been made throughout the 20 years of Storyville's life to throttle or fully shut down the legal red light district. However, despite these efforts, Storyville presided as a microcosm of both vice and vibrant culture. The district became a melting pot where the boundaries of race, class, and morality blurred, creating a unique environment where jazz was given the room to grow and thrive. Musicians like Louis Armstrong and Jelly Roll Morton honed their craft in the smoky, dimly lit rooms, their melodies weaving a rich tapestry of sound that resonated far beyond the confines of Storyville. As the years went by, the allure of the music and the promise of freedom attracted many artists, writers, and curious souls from all walks of life. The district's reputation grew both infamous and celebrated, becoming a symbol of both the decadence and the creative spirits of the era. Yet the social reformers and the city officials continued their battles, driven by a vision of a morally sanitized and an orderly society. Numerous religious groups frequently expressed their concerns loudly about the social injustices they believed were tarnishing the world. Many individuals advocated for the closure of the district, employing various strategies to diminish the allure. Like always, you gotta have those who just can't let people have their fun. It's not horrible, this beer, but it's not great either. It has a horrific aftertaste. I don't know if I can do it. Let's get something else. I shall be right back. What a turn of events for the end of season 2. I don't think I've ever done that before, ever. I am someone who is a curious drinker. I like to try things. And sometimes, they're not my vibe, but I usually can finish them. I had to get a little bit of water to wash that out. The first sip, the initial taste of it is not bad. It's the aftertaste that was curdling my stomach. Anyways, I went and got something different. I went and got Four Corners Brewing Co. Also, I think a local brewery. Let's see. Yeah, it is a local brewery. This is their honey rye golden ale. So we're sticking with the ales. Never tried this one either. And this one's been in my fridge for a while. So call yourself out, why don't you? Okay. Hopefully we have a better time with this one. Poured it like so bad. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting really off track, and I'm so sorry about that, but I could not keep drinking that one, and I knew if it was in front of me, I would. And I knew I needed some water because immediately that second sip was like, girl, if you take another one, you might vom. And let's not. Okay, I am excited to try this one. I was excited to try the other one, but we live and learn. This one has literally no smell. Anyways, cheers the second time. All head that I just sipped. I think better though. Oh. Okay. Maybe not. The honey in that. Okay. Let's keep moving. Let's get back to it, shall we? Jeez. Most of these efforts turned out to be mere annoyances for visitors wanting to enjoy the district. Ultimately, these attempts were ineffective and did little to curb the influx of traffic into the area, which continued to thrive despite the disruptions. Wow, disruptions. Today and talking, apparently not going well for me. Same with beer. In 1909, as Josie Arlington was preparing to retire, numerous ordinances were being implemented to eradicate vice in both the city and the district. They're tossing around ordinances like confetti at Mardi Gras. First up, they ban musical instruments in saloons that sell alcohol. Did that stop anyone? Absolutely not. Those living the sporting life had much practice with dealing with bans and rules that fucked with their livelihood. The clever cats of Storyville rolled out coin-operated machines that played music. No live instruments needed. Oh, the petty rebellion. Businesses boomed louder than ever, honey. Some even took their bands outside, blasting music in the streets, outside their establishments. Let me tell you, babes, I'm here for that historical pettiness. Those living the vice life knew how to take the punches and hit back harder, and I am obsessed with that. We talked about this, I believe it was in episode 4 a little bit, but yeah, that was like the start to like some of the things that they were just trying to do politically to be annoying, I feel like, because what's the point? They wanted to curb the enthusiasm and the draw of the district. This enabled businesses that could afford it to attract even larger crowds, as the musicians outside helped guide people in their direction. Individuals who operated or owned businesses within the district often viewed these bans as silly rules to comply with in order to keep their operations running. While they adhered to those regulations, they frequently sought out ways to circumvent each and every restriction imposed on them. And let's not forget, this district was running under Jim Crow laws, which, spoiler alert, were selectively enforced. But as the political winds shifted, segregation laws became another tool to target the district. Mixing races in saloons, that was a big no-no. The authorities started cracking down, using every excuse to ticket, raid, and harass. Sounds right. Jim Crow laws were a series of state and local regulations that enforced racial segregations in the United States, spanning from the post-Civil War era until approximately 1968. Jim Crow laws were always in effect, but in the district they were often overlooked. However, as political sentiment began to turn against Storyville towards the closure, these laws became, like I said, a tool for policing and controlling the area. Storyville had always been a place where racial lines frequently blurred. The district became known as a rare space where black and white patrons could drink together despite segregation laws strictly prohibiting such mingling. However, political pressure mounted against Storyville and the calls for its closure grew louder. Authorities began to really strictly enforce these laws as a means to try and control this area and try to please the people crying out for the insanitary things and the vibes being wrong for them. No one can have a good time. Women in Storyville were forbidden from servicing black men, but many of the district's saloons, gambling halls, and dance halls were known for being more inclusive, fostering a sense of community that defied the racial division of the time. Yet, as the district's days were numbered, this openness became a target for the very laws that sought to maintain segregation across the South, sadly. So, of course, when things were turning dark for the district, that was one of the easiest ways to just be a pain in the ass. Quick note from yours truly, moi. These laws were downright outrageous, but honestly, they also gave the government a perfect excuse to poke, prod, and pester vice districts across the South. I mean, what's a red light district without a little drama, right? I'm toying with the idea of an episode diving into these absurd laws and their impact on these hotbeds of rebellions. If this tickles your fancy, let me know. Now, enough of my musing. Back to the district we go. Despite all these small attempts to combat social evils, they did little to shut down the district or slow the steady flow of people coming and going. In fact, when World War I began in 1914, the district experienced another big boom. With men heading off to war and their survival uncertain, many sought enjoyment and wanted to embrace life before enlisting. Additionally, during their leaves, they had every reason to unwind and relieve some stress. Some of that pressure was released in brothels and secure environments. However, much of it also occurred whenever opportunities arose. You can place a man in the war zone, but that won't prevent him from being a man and needing to, quote unquote, address his needs. So a big problem started happening for the U.S. military. Venereal disease. That's right. STDs started to spread like wildfire throughout the servicemen. This situation will pose a major challenge for both the government and the military. This would basically result in the military losing thousands of man hours because soldiers are stuck in bed. Why, might you ask? Does the military care if the military men are just out there catching VD? Well, because basically the military would be losing thousands and thousands of man hours because soldiers are stuck in beds. And not for the fun kinds. Venereal disease are sidelining soldiers. Uncle Sam, he is not happy, keeping them in sick beds for sometimes weeks on end, not allowing the soldiers to be on the front lines of the fights. So, they start getting pretty annoyed at, the government and the military are getting pretty annoyed by the amount of manpower they're losing. The army in the end lost nearly 7 million persons days and discharged more than 10,000 men because of STDs. I'm sorry. Let me just run that back for you one more time. The army, in the end, lost nearly 7 million person days and discharged more than 10,000 men because of STDs. That is insane to me. Some serious issues going on, with education, okay? Safe sex practices. Essentially, the government was losing a lot of money, and the military was losing a lot of bodies, and that was a big, big problem, of course. This is when the government will go on to launch their internal and external campaign. Of course, their plan of attack wasn't to help men educate themselves and learn proper ways to be safe and protected during sex, but instead to attempt to push and force abstinence, because that works. When has it ever worked? Just questioning. When has this ever worked? Naturally, the first action that the government will take is to initiate a campaign against sex workers, portraying them as the enemy, the evil, blaming them for the dangers faced by our men. Oh, so they claim. Our boys not knowing about safe sex and getting sick would be the beginning of the end of the legal red light district in New Orleans. Welcome to the American plan. So in order to try and combat the STD epidemic in the military, the American plan will be launched. Although the American plan had several different focuses, we will just be looking at the social hygiene campaign. So it began during World War I as a result of a federal push to prevent soldiers from getting pesky STDs. Of course, the federal government found that the enemy in this case was, of course, us women. We are evil. They were the ones corrupting and infecting the soldiers. Specifically, of course, the women who were leading a more immoral lifestyle. So, of course, they're going to blame none other than the sex workers for the reason of men getting sick. It's not the lack of education or just men being men and not using protection. In any case, no. It's the women. Even though if you've been following me along in this journey with paying for it, we already know that sex workers were very, very careful with the spread of disease. They were at times clinical with checking over men and themselves before engaging in any sort of activities. The women who marketed their goods were truly ahead of their times in recognizing and participating and practicing safe sex. Their livelihoods and their well-being depended on it. They needed to be extremely knowledgeable and protective about their health, themselves, as in any oversight could jeopardize their careers, but also their lives. Anywho, government goes after the easiest target, the target that they feel is going to fix the problem. And that was, of course, the districts and the sex workers. So the first rule they put in place is that there's no longer allowed to be a red light district within 5-mile radius of a running military base. And this, like Hell's Half Acre, will be the final blow to the legal red light district in New Orleans, as Storyville was located very near the train station that brought the soldiers into the base that was, of course, within 5-mile radius of the district. Sadly, this blow will come swift and hard. Not anything that could really be done about it as it came as a federal law. Despite the valiant efforts of some political bigwigs in New Orleans to battle this law, it was like trying to stop a freight train with a feather. The war and military budget were just rolling in with cash, far outshining what the district could ever really dream to offer. If you've been following me along from the beginning of paying for it, this was the same reason that Hell's Half Acre closed in Texas. They were the moneymaker for Texas at that point, or at least that area of Texas. And it was accepted like Storyville was because it brought in so much money. But then when the military came in and brought their base and they initiated this law, the base and the military started offering way more money than the district could. So, like Texas, New Orleans will turn its back on the red light district. Now, the laws came in around April, while the district is gearing up for a shutdown for a few more months, desperately trying to fend off its closure. All the blood, sweat, and tears those fabulous women poured into their businesses are getting snatched away. But they are trying everything. But unfortunately, orders from the closure will come from Mayor Martin Bogan because he received orders from the Secretary of Navy, who had concerns that the district was keeping sailors, oh no, from the nearby Navy Training Center. At the stroke of midnight on November 12th, 1917, the curtain will fall, signaling the grand finale of one of the Americans' longest-running red light spectaculars. Now, it's important to note that Mayor Bogan did everything he could to stop the closure. Now, let's give a round of applause to Mayor Bogan, who pulled out literally every stop he could think of to those doors swinging. He tried everything. Let's dive into the drama and unravel the mystery of why Mayor Martin Bogan's showdown in New Orleans went belly up. Because I'm telling you, this man, he fought for Storyville. But the first blow came in August of 1917, open prostitution, like I said, was banned within 5 miles of a United States Army by orders from the Secretary of War, Newton D. Baker, and the Secretary of the Navy, Josephus Daniels. This, as we know, directly affected Storyville and all those who owned and operated businesses within the very profitable area. The impact of this order would significantly affect New Orleans. It would deliver a substantial financial setbacks, not only to those employed in Storyville, but also the city as a whole. Storyville served as a major tourist attraction, drawing visitors and their spending to the local economy. So then on August 27th through the 31st, Mr. Braxton Johnson, a representative for the War and Navy Department, came to Storyville to do a personal tour. While in Storyville, he will talk to Tom Anderson and other leaders of New Orleans society. Despite the anticipation that this visit might lead to some modifications of the order, it did not yield any favorable results. Mr. Mr. Bascom declared that the area confirms to Secretary Daniels' decree and instructed Mayor Martin to comply with it. This will go on to absolutely piss the mayor off. He's clinging to Storyville like a life preserver, okay? Because losing it would be a real blow to New Orleans. The war is not going to last forever. So the money that does or does not bring in will not last forever, whereas Storyville, it could, if potentially allowed, be a tourist attraction for as long as it's allowed to be. He's convinced this will send ripples of negativity throughout the city. Plus, let's be real, he knows this won't stop the ladies from peddling their goods to the gents in uniform. He knows this. He is well aware that the girls are still going to make their money, whether or not it's legal or not. If we keep it legal, we keep it safe and controlled. So on September 10th, the mayor will make a trip to Washington, D.C. to fight for Storyville, an attempt to keep it running. The mayor will not even be granted a meeting with either Daniels or President Wilson. Okay, that's quite disrespectful, I would say. Quite freaking disrespectful of all. Like, he is the mayor, and I get it. Like, maybe the president shouldn't talk to him, but secretary, hello. We deserve to be able to at least be heard about our concerns. Oh, well. He doesn't get heard. He gets ignored, okay? They do not grant him any sort of meeting. This is going to send the mayor home dejected, and I'm sure even more pissed off. And who wouldn't be? That the two men wouldn't even give him the time of day to hear his fight for what he thought was best for his own city. I mean, let's be real. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So when returning, Mayor Martin decides to ignore the ban and keep operating like nothing is amiss. He's like, I didn't hear them. I couldn't speak to them. So as far as I'm concerned, this has nothing to do with me. So now we've got some political beef going on between the mayor and the United States Army. Okay. We've got some beef. So 14 days after the mayor returns from Washington, D.C., Mayor Braham receives what some would say illegal threats from Secretary Daniels on September 24th. That reads, "You close the red light district or the armed forces will." I'm sorry, I did not need to give it that much sass, but honestly, how else was I supposed to read that? Still ignoring the threats, the mayor will continue to let Storyville operate as normal, which will bring us to October 1st, when the final warning will be issued to the mayor. At this point, unfortunately, he really has his back to the wall, with not being able to even get a meeting to at least attempt to say his piece, and getting threats and warnings. Mayor Martin realizes that he has no other option. So on October 2nd, Mayor Martin will present an ordinance to the city council to disassemble a Storyville. The ordinance, of course, is accepted on October 9th. It was announced that the ordinance would take effect at midnight on November 12th, 1917, sadly. So with the passing of this ordinance comes real panic from those who found their livelihood withering in Storyville. So with the passing of this ordinance comes a real panic from those who found their livelihood within Storyville. On October 13th, the New Orleans Times-Picayune publishes on the rumors that the owners of Basin Street houses and businesses plan to burn their brothels down in order to collect on fire insurance. So people start to really panic. They're like, oh my gosh, a huge fire is going to place out, because, they're just thinking that Storyville, brothel owners and people are seeing the writing on the wall. And once the Storyville is no longer a district, a running legal district, it is going to die. And the area is going to die. The housing development property prices are going to plummet. This is a huge blow for people. This in turn has the fire marshal promising an investigation that turns up no evidence of such a plot. Literally, he finds nothing that suggests that this is what they plan to do. However, that doesn't matter though, because on October 15th, leading insurance firms will cancel fire insurances on the Storyville properties, which I guess you have to protect that. I guess I kind of see it both ways, but yeah, I don't know. Still kind of shitty, because what if your house does burn down accidentally in between the time? A month is a long time, But yeah. Well, so they canceled the fire insurance on pretty much all the properties within the district. So then as time gets closer to the deadline of the closure, the city was afraid that Storyville may revolt against the looming closure. This will have the bulk of the New Orleans police force to be assigned to the district to put down any riots or demonstrations. Except the ladies of Storyville were not about to go out with anything but dignity. So there were really no need for the cops. Like the girls, the ladies, they were not used to this because they had been able to run legally, and I'm sure they were sad, but they weren't about to go out and throw a fit, pretty much. As at this point, many of the houses had already closed and many occupants had vacated the premises. Knowing what we know from one of our very first episodes with Norma Wallace, they moved elsewhere and opened up their business discreetly down the street. Once again, now being an illegal, in the eyes of the law, brothel. Which leads us to November 11th, one day before the closure is to be enforced. Civil Court Judge F.D. King refuses Gertrude Dick's request for an injunction to prevent the city from legally enforcing the ordinance to close Storyville. So they fought up to the end, baby. They fought up to the end. See, even though a lot of those ladies had already packed up and moved out of Storyville, there was still people fighting for Storyville, including Tom Anderson, the mayor of Storyville, and Gertrude Dix. So who exactly is Gertrude Dix? She was Tom Anderson's longtime girlfriend and managed a lot of his properties and businesses. They had met back in 1910 when Tom met the, at that point, 29-year-old, young and attractive, cultured Gertrude and fell in love. So when the closure of the district was looming over them, they had the financial backing to try and fight for the right to keep the selling of sex legal. After Gertrude was denied, the same day, the Supreme Court of Louisiana rejects Miss Dix's petition for a writ of mandamus. Mandamus? I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure. Requiring the city court to issue an injunction. What exactly is a writ of the word I can't say? Mandamus? Mandamus. That just came to me when I sounded it out. Yeah, I really had no idea either, so I did some Googling for us, okay? A writ of mandamus is an order from a court to an inferior government official ordering the government official to properly fulfill their official duties or correct an abuse of discretion. So that was a lot. But in this case, what Gertrude was attempting to do with the writ of mandamus was to get a Supreme Court to rule the lower court to hear her and give her, hopefully, the injunction she sought after. Unfortunately, this will be unsuccessful for her. And that brings us to the next day on November 12th. Before the enforced closure of the district, the remaining madams and houses are personally informed by the police that they can continue to live where they are, but cannot continue doing business without facing arrest and prosecution at midnight. By midnight, most inhabitants of Storyville are long gone. However, some do stay on and open to do business with police protection. And that goes into corruption. Some carefully skirted those ordinances for a bit, quietly. But a lot of people had long gone from Storyville. Because although legally they were forced to close down Storyville, the red light district that ran for over 20 years, selling your wares didn't close. The business of sex didn't close. It just spread out all over the city, no longer contained to one district and no longer running safely. When Storyville, New Orleans, infamous red light district, got the axe in 1917, it wasn't just the wealthy white clientele who felt the heat. Right next door, in quote-unquote Black Storyville, the shutdown hit hard. This was a neighborhood where Black musicians, sex workers, and laborers made their living feeding off the vibrant nightlife that pulsed through the area. But Uncle Sam wasn't having it in World War I, brought military boys to town, and the feds weren't too keen on soldiers cozying up next to vice districts. So they shut it down. This decision didn't just send shockwaves through Storyville, it uprooted an entire community. People scattered, and many found themselves packing up for cities like Chicago, fueling the Great Migration. But out of the mess came something extraordinary. At least jazz stayed a part of culture and was able to find a home in Storyville to grow and expand. Those Black musicians, once spearheading the brothels, now took their music with them. So while Storyville and next door, Black Storyville, may have been silenced, its legacy lived on. As jazz ignited stages in Chicago, New York, and beyond. It was the end of an era, but the birth of a musical revolution. And just like that, the district hit the snooze button, silencing the jazz that once danced through the vibrant streets of New Orleans after dark. The enchanting ladies of the night who used to strut their stuff like they were on the runway were nowhere to be found. It was a somber farewell, watching the district fade away and crumble into the pages of history. That, my friends, was the story of the good, the bad, the ugly, but also the glamour, the power, the freedom of the district, aka Storyville, the legal red light district in New Orleans. It brought so much to so many people. And that brings us to the ends of our deep, deep dive into Storyville and the ladies who found their freedom within the bounds. I cannot believe that we are here at the conclusion, the closure of the district. I'm quite sad. And the closure of season 2, paying for it. Did I know that this was going to be the end of season when I started this season? No. I truly thought that this was only going to be a couple weeks. But researching and writing and doing it all by yourself, researching, writing, editing, uploading, all that, it's a lot of work for someone who has a full-time job. So for me to grow this and come away from this, I am learning so much, and I'm excited to bring you season 3. I am really proud of this season, though. I freaking loved and enjoyed getting a good look into what Storyville was all about. The reason I started to really fall in love with researching and learning about the more spicier side of history. And so I hope you enjoyed this series and this deep look into what Storyville was all about. Paying for It will be back for season 3 very, very soon with some fun and exciting updates. But until then, please let me know what you thought of Storyville. What was your favorite part? Do you have a favorite queen or house? I would love to hear all about it. And I will meet you again soon, right here, shortly. Goodbye. You guys, I think I fixed the balloons. I figured it out. At least I'm doing something right. See you very, very soon. Until then, have a great, great day and a great couple weeks.
I got something between my legs that'll make a dead man come. Oh, that. I got something between my legs that'll make a dead man come. Oh.